Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to be getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and in particular, we're going to look at Legion of the First Prince from Broken Realms Bellacor, although previously you could get Legion of the First Prince available in Wrath of the Everchosen. It is a sort of sub-faction for the Slaves to Darkness, in that it is an all-demon army led by none other than Bellacor, the Dark Master himself. With that all said, let's talk about what exactly we get from a Legion of the First Prince army, and then we'll go looking into where your first purchases for the army should be, and then some purchases after that on what you can grab to get your army up to scratch and get to a playable level. And then finally, we'll look at a little sample army list at the end of the video, talking about a little army you can put together nice and quickly and get this army on the tabletop to play some games with. And so, what is this army all about? For starters, as mentioned, it is a demon-only Chaos army. You can find the rules as mentioned in the Broken Realms Bellacor book, though if you have the Warhammer Age of Sigmar app, the rules are currently up for free on there to use. The army is focused around Bellacor himself. He is the first Prince of Chaos, and as such, he has his own force of power to wield at his might. And so the army focuses around him. It has bonuses for if he's your general, you can return models to units, as the power of Bellacor invigorates demons to reform into the mortal realms. You can reroll hit rolls for Bellacor if he's within range of each one of the 4 different god-marked units. And you've also got some other cool rules for the army. The army really does focus on having hordes of lesser demons backed up by your more powerful elite monster demons or your more powerful elite units. And the demon army also summons extra demons to the battlefield during the game, increasing just the number of bodies and horde aspect of the army you have. It's a really cool looking army on the tabletop with these hordes of like gibbering demons, whether they be plague bearers, demonettes, bloodletters, or indeed horrors of Tzeentch, or even furies as well. Now, there has been some clarification in this as well that you cannot include Skaven demons within the army, so there is no including any Verminlords in this force. It is only unmarked Slaves to Darkness demons like Furies and Demon Princes that are unmarked, or indeed any of the God-marked demons. With that all said though, let's look at how we can look to expand this force, or rather get started with this force to begin with. And so, where to get started with a Legion of the First Prince? Well, if you're going to play this army, you want Bellacor, and because he's only 380 points-ish, this can go up or down depending when FAQs come out, he's not too hard to fit inside a 1,000-point army, so I would definitely recommend going and picking up the big man himself to get into this army. Now, he's got some cool rules. First of all, his generic stats are pretty nice. He's 14 wounds on a 4-up save, and he also never suffers any modifiers to his 4-up save, either that positive or negative. His best rule, though, is the Dark Master. So, at the start of the enemy hero phase, you can pick one enemy unit on the battlefield until your next hero phase at the start of each phase, including the phase in which this unit was picked. You can roll a dice for that unit. On a 3+, it cannot move, shoot, fight, use command abilities, chant prayers, attempt to cast spells, attempt to dispel endless spells, or attempt to unbind spells in that phase. And essentially, it cannot do anything. This is just an amazingly powerful ability. I've watched this cause absolute havoc to people, especially if you can get a double turn where you give it to your opponent has a turn and then giving the turn to your opponent, so it works over 2 turns. It can be just so powerful. An ability and can swing games massively in your favour. Bellacor also does decent damage for himself. The Blade of Shadows with 8 attacks, 3/3s, Ren 2 damage 2 is decent, backed up by some other Ren 1 and Ren 3 damage 2 attacks, though only a couple of extra attacks there. He's also a Lord of Torment, so if the enemy unit fails a battleship test while it's within 12 inches of him, you can heal up to D3 wounds allocated to Bellacor as well. So if you can get those battleshock tests have to be taken and enemy models taking tests near him, he's going to self-heal as well. Magic wise, he can attempt to cast and attempt to dispel 2 spells in each phase. And he's got Enfeeble Foe, which is a -1 from wound rolls on an enemy unit. So a really solid spell there for Bellacor as well. All in all, he's just a fantastic piece to have in your army. Let's not forget, he can fly as well, so he's a big flying monster. He gets all the benefits that has, ignoring terrain, ignoring intervening models. He's got the ability to give himself Finest Hour, +1 save, and cast command abilities on himself as well. Now, the 2 units I recommend picking up first alongside this, first of all, are Horrors of Tzeentch. Now, whether this be blue, brimstone, or pinks, they're really good. Horrors of Tzeentch generally stick around pretty well, and thanks to Legion of the First Prince, we have a bunch of rules that are going to help the Horrors be even more fighty, which is mainly they're going to have a 6-up ward save in the game. Plague Bearers also are really good. 2 wounds now. 6-up is a pretty decent solid unit. These are going to be the 2 units that really are going to hold your lines for you in your games with Legion of the First Prince. With this out the way though, it's time to look at some other units we can use to bring into the force to do something a little bit different than what we've got here in the starting force. And so, where do we go to next? Well, first of all, let's chat Bloodletters. So, Bloodletters are our resident core units, or battle line units for Khorne. Bloodletters are much more aggressive than any of the 2 units we talked about in the first one. Their big thing being that they're going to get the Decapitating Blow ability, allowing them to do some mortal wounds in combat. So that's going to be really, really cool. This is going to give us something a little bit different than we don't have in our regular sort of army. There's not a lot of mortal wounds in the units we talked about to begin with, other than being able to do some magic and stuff like that. Demonettes are another option. Now, they are much more a glass cannon and they don't do mortal wounds, but they do have run and charge. So this gives them some good fast-paced moving ability, unlike the rest of, I guess, the sort of core demons we have. Now, of course, talking about Bloodletters and Demonettes, we must talk about how we have all the sort of upgrades on all our 4 generic demons. We obviously have more elite versions of Bloodletters in Blood Crushers. We have Demonettes, while we don't have any more elite units of them other than on Chariots. We do have things like the Fiends, which are bigger demons as well, and so all the other upgradable demons, especially for Horrors, you know, you've got Screamers and Flamers and all that for Tzeentch. There's definitely some options you can play around there, picking up some more elite units for your army later down the line. Furies, however, are another option. Furies I really, really like. They are a really useful unit. They've got some really cool rules as well. No more so than their sneaky little devil's rule, where in the combat phase you can pick this unit to fight, and instead of fighting, it can retreat. So this can be great for charging into your opponent, picking them to fight, and actually flying over with Fury's really solid movement that they have of 12 inch. They can just fly over your opponent's lines, cap objectives, steal objectives, get any enemy heroes, and threaten their backline wizards and support heroes and all that sort of stuff. They're a really useful unit to have in your army. And lastly, of course, we wouldn't be amiss without talking about some leader options. Obviously, Demon Princes are, I guess, what Bellacor is himself, so having some lesser Demon Princes is a really cool option, but also adding in other greater demons, things like the Lord of Change, Keeper of Secrets, Bloodthirsters, all there make for some great pieces to have as some fantastic hammers. It's really, when you start looking outside of your core demons, it's going to be these big monster ones, things like the Bloodthirsters and the Lords of Change, which are really going to bring the hammers to your force. With that all said though, let's look at a little sample army list, 1,000 points that we've put together, which you can use to start getting your own ideas to create your own Legion of the First Prince army, or indeed just copy ours if that's what you wish to do. And so this is the little sample army list we've put together here. So we've got Bellacor, the Dark Master, as our general, and we've gone for a grand strategy, Predator's Domain. The reason why I like Predator's Domain for this is because it doesn't require our starting units to complete it, and it allows us just to summon demons and control the board in that way. A really good grand strategy for this army. No Triumph, as we are a perfect 1,000 points in the army, but as mentioned, Bellacor is our general, and he's got the Master's Command, which is a spell we have available to Legion of the First Prince. The Master's Command has a casting value of 7, and if successfully cast, you pick one friendly Legion of the First Prince unit, wholly within 12 inches of the caster. Until the end of that phase, if a mortal from the unit is slain, they get to fight before they die. So this can be really cool on things like Bloodletters to do mortal wounds when they hit, getting that extra bit of damage out of them. So really, really cool. So this also doesn't stop units from attacking more than once. If they've already attacked and then they get to fight before they are slain as well, they can get 2 extra hits, so it really helps our Bloodletters there. Other than that, there are some other options you can definitely go with. Now, when Bellacor's our general, we get Cursed Skies. So in the battle show phase, you can return demons to your units. However, you could, if you want, choose to swap maybe the demonettes out for one of the Heralds of Slaanesh, put that on foot and take that as your general. And then you could pick, say, the Primordial Commander, which gives you +1 to your Unyielding Legions rule, which is the one where you summon demons onto the table with. However, that is completely up to you what you want to do, whether or not you feel the +1 is better than the healing your units on the table around Bellacor. It's really up to you. So, battle line wise, 10 Plague Players, 10 Bloodletters, 10 Demonettes are our battle line options for the army, and just points wise at this point in time, we only have enough for 10 Blue Horrors. But this doesn't ensure we've got the First Damn Prince ability where Bellacor can sort of palm wounds off if he's got all these units nearby him. 6 Furies round out our list. And they're just a great piece to have for all the mentioned reasons we talked about before in the last slide. Furies, I just really love them. Everything is round up in a single battle regiment. We've got 5 units and 1 hero, so it can be a nice battle regiment for a 1-drop force at a perfect 1,000 points. 76 wounds on the table is really good for this sort of points level, so a nice little Bellacor themed Legion of the First Prince army. If you're playing Legion of the First Prince, let us know how you're going or what you're doing with it. I'd love to hear from everyone in the comments below. It's all useful information coming from players. If you leave it in the comments, it helps anyone new looking through the comments to get some more ideas on how to play Legion of the First Prince. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and turn those bell notifications on so you don't miss a beat when we upload new stuff to the channel. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by helping support the channel on Patreon or YouTube members. This allows us to continue to make new content for the channel, exploring other game systems outside of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, like we have started to with things like Elder Scrolls: A Call to Arms and Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings and Warhammer 40,000. And it helps us just continue to make more Age of Sigmar content as well. Thank you to, though, everyone who has helped support, and we'd like to give them all a shout out to our patrons. First of all, Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nielsen, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, and Samuel. And to our YouTube members as well, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny Locklorick, The Johnny 84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Sean Scott, and Diplomat. And a special thank you, of course, to, first of all, Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel you see here, and to Xmorphic, who does all the awesome background work on our Discord server, keeping that nice and running properly for us all. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against Grey. Ciao for now.